Now tell me, I got to press
It's
what?
already live, Mr. Blakeman.
Okay.
Yeah, Mr. Blakeman.
Uh,
Okay, just hold it right there. Yep, it's on. But put the camera facing towards me. Matter of fact, Miss Marge, you say you're not gonna be in? Oh, okay.
Well,
Turn this way.
okay.
Yep, just keep it this way, because this is the camera right here.
Okay.
Okay. I can't know. I got to log into my social medias. It's okay. I got it. I'm not seeing you good. You got everything streaming. Oh, ready? All right. We are sitting here today on this very cold Tuesday morning to thank President Donald Trump. Donald Trump had told us during the campaign that he was going to make Chicago area number one, priority number one when it comes to dealing with the migrant crisis. As it currently stands, the city of Chicago is almost $1 billion in debt because of financial mismanagement when it comes to the migrant crisis. We also know that the Chicago Teachers Union has been traveling to Venezuela for the past decade, making businesses and deals with the Venezuelan government, inviting people to come here. So when we talk about President Trump and the Agenda 47 plan, we want to say on behalf of the taxpayers of Chicago, thank you very much for coming here and removing some of the invoices that are currently boggling down the property tax owners. We also want to say to Tom Homan, thank you so much for coming here and making sure that the safety and security of the citizens of Chicago is priority number one. We know that last year that the Chicago public schools were the epicenter of the measles outbreak because migrant children were put in the Chicago public schools without vaccinations. We also know that there was an issue with enrollment last year and this year with the Chicago public schools because citizens were put on a second place tier because migrants were given priority when it came to enrolling in the Chicago public schools. We also know that because we are dealing with a group of people that our city did not anticipate, but the teachers union invited here, now academic resources that were supposed to go to close literacy and math gaps in the city were then reallocated to help the children of the migrants better understand this country or better understand the language to the detriment of our children, where we know that within the Chicago public schools, Black reading achievement is 8%. Therefore, we are calling for the Attorney General of the United States of America, Ms. Pam Bondi, to come to the city of Chicago and figure out what happened. We know that there was a financial mismanagement. We know that there was an issue of people lying. We know that there was an issue of people giving contracts that were not supposed to receive them, and it was to the detriment of the citizens of the city of Chicago. Again, we thank President Trump for putting the citizens of Chicago first, because no longer does having a social security number and a birth certificate in this city make you a second-class citizen under the policies of President Trump. I turn it over.
Hello, everyone. Thank you. Mayor Brandon Johnson of Chicago City Council clearly don't care about Chicago voters because they didn't give us a choice to vote on whether or not we wanted to be a sanctuary city. People on the south and west side of Chicago, especially people like me, who had an elementary school in my neighborhood turned into a migrant shelter, we see the effects of illegal immigration. We see what happens when migrants are dumped in low-income communities, and we do not welcome it. We do not want it. And the funny thing is, the liberal types, the people in the suburbs, and the rich folks you see on liberal news networks, they do not want to look next to migrants either. They can protest and they can scream and they can say, oh, Trump's doing a terrible job at deporting people, but they would never in a million years live next to a migrant shelter. My neighborhood, which is already dealing with poverty and so many other issues, is now looking like a third world country because Mayor Brandon Johnson says he wants to keep these folks here. And our mayor, unfortunately, has said that he wants to go against Tom Homan and fight the Trump administration. He doesn't want to let ICE deport people and come in because he says that it's going to terrorize black and brown communities. ICE deporting illegal immigrants somehow terrorizes black and brown communities. But Mayor Brandon Johnson is a black man, and many black and brown people work in this job. And I have to walk through metal detectors to get here or to go upstairs or to take the elevator. So the question is, why do police get to stay in this building and protect these black and brown people, these black and brown Democrat politicians, but the black and brown people of the South and West Side of Chicago, we don't get no help? We don't have people deporting criminals out of our communities? That's absolutely insane. And as you know, Mayor Brandon Johnson's approval rating is 14%. And he doesn't want to deport people, I think, because it would drop down to 0, because the only people who support him are the people who are not supposed to be here. I wish Tom Homan was the mayor of this city. I wish Tom Homan was our mayor, because maybe we wouldn't be in a deficit. Maybe we wouldn't have $400 million plus spent on the migrant crisis. Tom Homan dots his I's and crosses his T's, but Mayor Brandon Johnson plays games. He plays games, and we have had enough. So I hope he talks about the people who are protesting deportations. I hope he talks about the people who are committing crime in inner city communities. And I hope he talks about the fact that people of Chicago are tired of Democrat policies. And many of us voted for Donald Trump. We will not apologize for that, and we will continue to scream. The liberal lunatics can protest, but we will be louder. They can scream and jump, but we will jump higher. They can stand in our faces and call us names, but we will stand taller, because at the end of the day, we know that we have God and righteousness on our side, and we will not back down. Thank you.
What's your name and title?
Oh, my name is Osiris King. I am the executive director of Chicago.
Spell that name.
Osiris. Last name King, K-I.
Good afternoon. My name is Beverly Miles. It's M-I-L-E-S. I don't want to just talk about Brandon Johnson. We got to bring J.B. Pritzker back into the fold of this. The federal government gave over allegedly $20 billion for migrant care. The state of Illinois, it is alleged that they spent $1.5 billion for migrants. The city of Chicago spent $400 million on migrants. Also, the city of Chicago funneled the care to migrants to a Kansas-based organization, whereas the city of Chicago spent $22 million, $22.9 million in migrants care. So my question is, I don't want to just stick on on Brandon Johnson. We need to put the onus back on J.B. Pritzker. J.B. Pritzker swore an oath to defend democracy. And what does that look like? And that is to adhere to the federal government. J.B. Pritzker has made his entire initiative about the migrants, not the people that voted J.B. Pritzker in office. We need Pam Bondi to come here and conduct a top to bottom financial audit of where the residents and the legal citizens of the state of Illinois, where did our money go? The city of Chicago is showing where some of their money went, but the governor is not showing where his money went. J.B. Pritzker don't get to get on a grandstand and talk this crap about he's here to protect all people. He's not here to protect all people, because J.B. Pritzker has never protected black people. J.B. Pritzker fighting with Donald Trump, you're not protecting the American people, you're protecting your interests. What we do know, J.B. Pritzker has benefited off the pain and suffering of American people, off the pain and suffering of black people. So, Pam Bondi, we need you here in Chicago. We need you here in the state of Illinois. Donald Trump, we still need you here, because Governor J.B. Pritzker, he thinks this is a joke. Mayor Brandon Johnson, you got something that's way over his head. And we gotta not forget Lori Lightfoot, because when the deal was made, Brandon Johnson was not in office, Lori Lightfoot was. So we need a full financial audit from top to down, starting with the governor's office. Thank you.
Tell me your name.
Good morning. My name is Tamiko Holt, HLT. I'm
28th Republican Committee woman in Chicago, and I'd like to talk about Chicago Housing Authority. Chicago Housing Authority take their marching orders from the fifth floor. I don't care what mayor is in office. And the fact of the matter is they need forensic audits. They need forensic audits. They're pretty much paid contracts as well as hiring, and I say hiring illegal immigrants. You can go back to the board meeting of July 2022, where it clearly states, the CEO clearly stated that they will be removing Social Security number apparatus off their website so illegal immigrants can apply for housing. They clearly stated how many that they were housing already. And for us as citizens have to give up our Social Security numbers, even for our returning citizens to come and live with us, you know, as their relatives, they have to give up their Social Security number. Chicago, the state of Illinois, and the Housing Authority needs not just financial audits, they need forensic audits. You have no idea how they pay contracts, and this is how they get their kickbacks. We need forensic audit in social service. When I tell you that there is a whole system here that perpetuates poverty and does not protect our people, even though Black people are we are the highest population that they're using as human capital. We need Pam Bondi here. We need Pam Bondi here to pretty much do forensic audits and don't let up no matter where it leads, because we know where all roads lead back to. And we need this done right away. Donald Trump, I voted for you all 3 times. I knew that you was uncontrollable. But I need you to keep the promise that you made about draining the swamp, no matter where it leads. This is what we need here in Chicago. People think people that's living in public housing or subsidized housing don't want to get up and do nothing. We have receipts of where they destroyed damn near over 100 Black businesses that was pretty much growing here up under the Chicago Housing Authority agency, because we can't contract anywhere else because we're not union shops. When I tell you that they have created a whole system to not only that they're price gouging, they're stealing. And we need this to be uncovered here. That's it.
Good, thank you.
Tamiko, Tamiko. And let me also add, I was a longtime resident of Chicago Housing Authority. Just 2 years ago, I was able to transition into my own place. But that tells you that it's not from the lack of us trying, it's the systematic corruption that goes on in Chicago Housing Authority. But not just Chicago Housing Authority, I was able to travel all around the country for being on the resident leadership team for over 12 years, and I saw it everywhere I went, every major city I went to. Thank you.
Thank y'all very much for coming. My name is Paul McKinley, Paulmckinley. We also want to talk about the U.S. Attorney. In this town, the city of Chicago, they're not afraid of the police in this town. The machine is not afraid of any of these people, but they are afraid of the U.S. Attorney. Mike Madigan just was found guilty. Ed Burt was just found guilty. This corruption lasted for 50 years.
That's right.
Just imagine how many young Black men and women lives that they destroyed.
That's right.
We're asking for the U.S. Attorney, and we're asking for an appointment of Fitzgerald, a U.S. Attorney that will come in here and root out the corruption in the city hall and in the governor's office.
That's right.
Mr. President, we're asking you to send a marshal to govern this criminal town.
That's right.
That we live in. This is a criminal town.
Yes, it is.
It's a corrupt town.
Yes.
And these people that run this city are running wild and mad. They're not afraid. But if you send some of them to jail,
that's right.
some of these politicians,
that's right.
some of these aldermen,
yes.
because they couldn't have done it without these aldermen.
That's right.
They need
That's
to
right.
go to the penitentiary.
That's right. That's right.
So we're asking you, man. We're asking you, Governor. When you go up there, some of us going up there too, to Washington, to expose the stuff that you did in CHA, the stuff that you did in our schools, stole our schools, deprived her daughter from getting on the bus.
That's
This
right.
stuff is personal.
Yes.
So, Mr. President, we're asking that you step in and send us a marshal, a wide earth type
That's
marshal,
right.
A team.
to go after the corruption.
That's right.
And
That's
go
right.
after this governor and this
Yes.
mayor. 'Cause they
Go
not
on,
gonna sit
Paul.
unless you go
Tell
after
them.
All together.
them. We thank
Tell
you
them,
very
Paul.
much. Thank you very much.
Yes. Yes.
Lastly, we'll wrap up with this. Pushing for immigration control can never be racist. Since the 1800s, Black leaders have been talking about how illegal immigration has disproportionately hurt Black wealth in this country. So if you have a problem with people being deported, you don't like Black people. And we want to know, what did we do to you to deserve such a thing? We want to know, why is it that our people, our politicians, hate us so much that they keep on pushing legislation to harm us, harm our safety and our security and our wealth? We are full Americans from sea to shining sea, and we expect to get the same type of protection as every other American in this country. Thank you guys for coming.
Thank you. Thank you. Go Red.
Go Red.
One quick question. You call on Pam Bondi to come and investigate Chicago. What about Elon Musk and his Department of Government Efficiency?
Yes, we want that. We want that. We need it.
Yes. We need it.
That's gonna turn over, that's gonna peel back every layer, that's gonna turn over every soul and find out where they're hiding the money, where they're shifting the money, and who's getting kickbacks. We need Elon. Elon.
Come on by.
Yes, you know how to pretty much count the money down to the penny. We want that. We need that. We need it now.
Now. When do we want it now?
Any other questions?
Thank you. Thank you. This was beautiful.
Thank you. God bless America.
Yes. God bless America. And we win red.
My name is P. Rae space Easley, EASLEY, P. Ray Easley, Chair of Chicago Red.
Go Red.
Go Red.
All right.
Thank you, ma'am.
All right. Thank all of you. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Thank you. Go Red. Go Red. Paul, you really did. We need Trump to come and clean up this swamp.
Thank you, Mr. Blakemore.
Yes. We need Trump to come and clean up this damn swamp. Yes, indeed.